That is right. Head-to-head trivia is back here on Squared Circle Radio. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. That's the Young Buck Andy York. My name is Chris Belcher. Andy, you've been wanting to do trivia for a couple of weeks now, and we're finally, I think we're finally going to be able to get it in tonight.
Yeah, I think so, unless as we're recording something just earth-shattering happens, but
it's happened before.
It's happened before. Yeah, no, I've been looking forward to it. I wish we could have got this in Money in the Bank time, but
yes, me too.
SummerSlam is just as fun to cover and talk about as well, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What no era is off limits with SummerSlam. We're going to talk about it all, even the stuff before Andy was born, which is not very difficult. But we're going to...
Flair. I'm going to give it that. Wait, no, it's WCW. That's what I'm thinking.
You're going to have to go like Hogan or something.
Macho Man.
Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, whatever. Anyway, going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having fun, digging what we're doing. Follow us at SQCircle_radio all over social media. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Lots of cool stuff over there, and I'm not saying it just because we produce it. It's a lot of fun stuff. I mean, maybe I am. But go check it out if you haven't already. So much fun. Let's get into it, man. Let's do some trivia right out the gate. Let's not waste any more time. We normally have some fun little music going, and I got to find it.
It's been so long.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. I'll kick us off here. Okay. So I'm going to ask a question. We're going to go back and forth. We'll split this up. We'll have a couple of different sections of trivia, and then we'll talk about some current product stuff and all kinds of stuff in between. All right, Andy, I'll go with the first question. We'll just alternate back and forth.
Sounds good.
Here we go. Question number 1. SummerSlam 1994 saw The Undertaker battle The Undertaker. In the main event of the show, on that show was also a steel cage match for the world title, Bret Hart and Owen Hart. Not the main event. Travesty. Anyway, who portrayed the fake Undertaker in this match?
Oh, no. I know this.
I know you know. That's why I asked you.
I know, but I forget names.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
He later came back into the WWF and led the group DOA. It was known as Chains in DOA.
I'm going to be so mad when you tell me this answer. I cannot think of anybody.
The correct answer is Prime Time Brian Lee from Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I didn't know that.
If you're watching on YouTube, there's a fantastic behind-the-scenes picture of him with The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. Primetime Brian Lee. All right.
Wow.
We got.
All right. We're kind of sticking the same theme.
Okay.
2009 SummerSlam. Yep.
Okay.
The shortest SummerSlam match clocked in at 8 seconds-ish. Okay. When this person defeated William Regal.
I believe the answer is Captain Charisma, Christian.
It was.
There we go.
It was. Do you know what it was for?
Was it for the ECW Championship?
It was.
Yeah.
The poor title. That poor WWE ECW was so bad.
It was so bad. You are correct. All right. Let's go back a couple of years, I think, here. The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels was retired for 4 years after a devastating back injury, made his triumphant return to the ring at the biggest party of the summer, facing his longtime best friend turned bitter enemy, Triple H. What year did this return take place? Was it 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2003?
Talking about the match itself?
The match itself, when did it take place?
I believe it was 2002. Yeah.
You are correct.
Like one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time. The whole show was just stacked top to bottom.
I think the show kicked off with like Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was wild. It was a great show. That match is one of my favorite matches of all time. It's so good.
How can it not be one of your favorite matches of all time? It's just incredible. All right. What you got?
All right. Not talking about a specific SummerSlam. We're talking about SummerSlam overall.
Uh-oh.
Who has the worst record in SummerSlam history?
This was one of my questions, so we doubled up on this one.
did.
So I can tell you who it is. It is a tie between Jeff Hardy and Booker T at 0-5.
Yep. Well, sort of.
Yes.
I'll give you this. But based off of
a minimum of
matches, 14 matches.
Okay.
Okay. Who do you think it is? Because that's not who my answer is for this question. A minimum of 14.
Okay. Chris Jericho. No! Who we got?
John Cena. He has lost 9 of 14
Wow.
at SummerSlam.
All right.
That's a wild stat.
So my question in that was, which superstar is winless
Yeah.
at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Which would be those two. 9?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive, John. All
And
right.
one of them he got murdered in, basically.
Let me throw you a softball here.
Okay.
SummerSlam 2022 was held at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee.
I remember bits and pieces of it.
I was going to say, you might not remember all of it, but do you remember what match kicked off the show that night? Come on, we established the Triple H era.
We did. I believe it was Bianca versus Becky. Yeah, because that's when Bayley came out afterwards. Io came out. Dakota Kai came. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, that is correct. All right, one more. What you got?
SummerSlam 2015.
Okay.
Main event: John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Who cost John Cena the world title that night?
That would be, at the time, the host of The Daily Show, Mr. Jon Stewart.
That is correct. That is correct.
That is correct. Love that. Love it. Some fun stuff there. We'll get back to some trivia in just a minute, but we got to talk about some current product stuff because the product is rocking and rolling, and that's why we haven't been able to get through trivia for quite some time. Let's talk about the match that was made official on Friday Night SmackDown. It will be at SummerSlam. It will be for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa one-on-one. Now, the bigger story here, a lot of people, of course, are giving this flack because it's Solo and people aren't behind him yet or whatever. But really, they just want Roman back.
Right.
You know, I think it's a stand-in for Roman, so to speak. So, let's not talk about Cody because we'll have time to talk about Cody later. What does this look like with Roman coming back? If you had to predict it right now, we're going to do SummerSlam predictions when it gets closer, but right now in this very moment, the match is made official. We know what Solo said. Where does Roman fit into all this?
Oh, I don't know. Probably in my mind, I see it going down. The Bloodline's going to interfere. Jacob and the Tongas are going to get involved and all of that. I think Cody still walks out. I think Cody still wins one way or another. And I think there's going to be something with Solo and the Bloodline just doing something to Cody, probably to Randy at the same time. And then I think Roman's music hits. And I think he doesn't get physical. I think he stands face to face with Solo. I think he stands face to face with Cody. And it kind of goes off the air of Roman's back, but
what's he doing?
What's his main priority right now? Is it Cody and the world title getting it back, or is it going after Solo, who said he wasn't man enough to get the job done?
I think both of those things are very. If it doesn't happen that way, I feel like that's where we're headed. Is we don't know kind of what side Roman's on, because before Money in the Bank, I said that Roman needed to come back as a heel for a little bit, try and manipulate Solo, and then they jump him. But now, because Solo's calling him out, we're to a point where we can't have that.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, Roman lost the title to Cody.
Yeah.
Cody is the reason Roman is not the champion right now, because we would be approaching the Hulk Hogan record, 3rd place all time, if it not been for Cody. So I don't see a scenario where he helps Cody.
No,
I don't think we can't have that happen, but maybe to have them exist separately, they just don't interact at all at SummerSlam.
Yeah, because I think there's another scenario where, like, maybe Randy turns on Cody. Like, Cody wins, Randy beats up Cody, whatever. Solo and the Bloodline are standing in the ring by themselves. Roman's music hits.
Yeah.
Roman comes out. I don't know. I think right now, even though, yes, the world title reign and all of that, I don't think we need Roman and Cody happening right now.
No, absolutely not.
I think it can wait until,
Royal Rumble,
maybe Survivor Series, something like that. I think Roman solo needs to happen sooner than Roman Cody does, because this whole thing is building to Roman Rock.
For sure it is.
And I think we're going to get Roman Rock this year more than later down the line, because one of the Rock's scheduling, I'm sure, is probably better to get him like booked in now and do this now. Mm-hmm. And also I think, he just got injured recently on a movie set. So like he's quickly running out of time before he gets in a match and he just falls apart or whatever's going on. So I think they want to do it sooner rather than later.
Sure. Okay, here's my question then. Because here's something that I'm wrestling with, and I'm not, pun intended, obviously, that I'm not sure about.
Okay.
Does Roman even show up at SummerSlam?
Oh, I think there's a chance he doesn't. I think there's a chance Rock shows up and Roman doesn't show up.
See, here's my thought. Cody sneaks out a win somehow. Roll up. Okay, cool, fine. Tongans come in, taking out Cody, whatever. And then we get the reunion of the Usos at the end of SummerSlam instead of Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But I think if that happens, if it's not Roman, I think you can move this out of the main event spot. You could kick off the show, and you have the Usos come back to a big pop to start the show.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have whatever Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins,
Rhea Liv,
whatever
possibly.
that is, or Rhea Liv. Those two things can easily main event.
Yeah. I think if this is not, we said this for Money in the Bank too, and it wasn't necessarily true. But I think if it's not the main event, there's a good indication that Roman's more than likely showing up, or something big happens.
Sure.
So like I could see a scenario where the Usos come out, Roman's not even there, the Usos come out and help fend off the Bloodline. Yep. Obviously, after SmackDown, Randy's involved in this story too.
Yes.
As the show goes off the air, Randy turns on Cody. Because SummerSlam is it's a place where a lot of people turn on a lot of people at the end of the show. And so I could see that happening.
I know there are listeners and our viewers. We appreciate you guys very much. But if you're sick and tired of me talking about Sam Roberts, plug your ears for a minute. Sam Roberts made a great point today on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm stealing it from him because I think it is tremendous fantasy booking. Whether Roman shows up at SummerSlam or not is a moot point.
Yep.
Because I think Randy Orton is stuck in the middle because Kevin Owens turns on Cody first. So I think.
Yeah.
So Randy said on SmackDown, I've got your back, Cody.
Yeah.
I've got it no matter what. Guys in the locker room are coming for your title.
Yeah.
And I've got your back.
Yeah.
So you have Kevin turn on Cody. And then you make Randy choose.
Yeah.
Hey, we've been best friends. Kev says, we've been best friends, Randy. We've been through it for forever. We've been fighting the Bloodline together. We need to fight. We need to take the title. Blah, blah, whatever. Randy, who's loyal to Cody, I don't know. And then we get Cody. That's how we get Cody Kevin.
Yeah.
And that takes us to Survivor Series where we get Cody Randy.
Yeah, I could see that taking place too. I could see that happening. I don't know. I think Kevin's working really well as a face right now.
It's true. He is.
And so I think it's going to work smoother if it's Randy, because I think you can stretch this Randy Cody thing out till Bad Blood in October.
Well, that right. So that's why I think the Kevin thing happens first.
Yeah, because Bad Blood's in what, October?
Bad Blood's in October, and we've got the Berlin show after SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Unless you get Cody solo rematch at Berlin, which is possible.
It's possible. I don't know. I really don't know. I think that's the thing right now is there's so many directions they can go in. And they all work really, really well. There's not like a best case scenario. I think they all have their positives and their, somewhat downfalls in them as well. But I think at the end of the day, Roman has to show up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the caveat to a KO or an Orton turn is we need a babyface Roman to be back to take their spot.
Yeah, which is why I think if Roman shows up, the turn is happening on SmackDown.
Correct. Yes,
because Roman's dealing with Solo. Cody's kind of like by himself for the first time in a while, and then the turn happens of either one of KO or Randy.
Yeah, because I don't think we need both at SummerSlam. No. If Roman doesn't show up, then okay, maybe we get the Usos or maybe we get the Randy turn or the Kevin Owens turn. If Roman shows up, that's enough of a bombshell. We don't need anything else. Don't want to overshadow it, anything like that.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate you guys hanging with us on our YouTube channel. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe, please. We would appreciate it. Check out our playlist where we've what's the word I'm looking for? Put together all of our videos, I guess. I can't come up with the word, so I'm just going to say put together. Compiled.
There you go.
Compilation of all of our videos on playlists on our YouTube channel. Tried to make it easy for you guys. It just took me a minute. Appreciate you guys, though, if you're doing that. We've gotten some comments recently. We've tried to respond to a couple of them. We appreciate that so much. We have finally surpassed 100 subscribers. Let's get it. Put it up here for that. 100 subscribers. Let's get to 200. We would appreciate it very much. Again, we said it last week. Doesn't sound like a whole lot to everybody else. It's up. It's real important to us.
It is.
We appreciate it very, very much. All right. That being said, let's dive back into some trivia. Andy, hit me with a question.
All right. We kind of talked about who has the worst record. Let's talk about who has competed the most times at SummerSlam.
I've got a potential answer for that, but I don't know if it's accurate because you said Cena's record was what, like 9
and 14.
So that's 23 times at SummerSlam. If he's 9 and 14.
No, 9 out of 14.
9 out of 14.
He's lost 9 out of 14.
So he's had 14 appearances.
Yes.
Who has had more than 14 SummerSlam appearances? It's got to be The Undertaker.
That's correct.
Right? The Undertaker.
That is correct. I believe it was like 18 or like it was something like, it was a ridiculous number.
16.
I've
got it down on my thing. I think it's 16. It's either 15 or 16.
Yeah, he's had a lot. Cena's up there, and I think Triple H was up there as well.
All right. So if The Undertaker has the most wins, let's put it that way.
Yep.
But he's lost a couple of times. Who has the most wins without a loss at SummerSlam?
Most wins without
Is it
a loss?
Hulk Hogan?
Okay.
Is it The Ultimate Warrior? Is it Randy Savage? Or is it Bret Hart?
And this is
It's not that they've competed the most.
Right.
But they've won the most without losing.
I mean, it's got to be Hogan.
Not Adam Cole, baby.
There it is.
There it is. It is Hulk Hogan. He is 6-0 at SummerSlam.
Doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised it's not higher.
But as you see there on the screen, the Ultimate Warrior is 5-0. He is right behind the Hulkster.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What you got?
All right. This match in 2012, okay, almost took place. And it was Daniel Bryan versus a celebrity. Do you know who that celebrity was?
The only celebrity I can think of that competed at SummerSlam was Stephen Amell, and that is not right.
It wasn't Stephen Amell.
It was not Stephen Amell. I do not know the answer to that question.
Charlie Sheen.
Wait. Give me a backstory on how that was going to happen.
So apparently he wanted more money, and they weren't going to give him more money. But it looked like back in 2012, Charlie Sheen was coming to SummerSlam, like wanted to be a part of SummerSlam, and they were going to put him with Daniel Bryan and have them wrestle at SummerSlam.
That is the wildest thing I think I've ever heard. Wow. So did they start a story and had to pivot, or do you remember?
I don't think it was necessarily a story. I just think it was like, I think that Daniel Bryan said something on TV about Charlie Sheen or something like that, and then it was supposed to just kind of fall from there, but it never really took off.
I gotcha. All right. Here's a selfish question. You might know the answer. You might not. I'm going to ask it anyway. You know what one of my favorite childhood memories is, being a wrestling fan, is renting VHS tapes from Blockbuster. Were you old enough to do that or no?
Yeah, no, I know. Well, it wasn't VHS, it was DVDs, but Blockbuster.
But still, okay, you were at least around for a bit. Okay. Yep. And one of the tapes that I rented the most, and I just wore it out, was SummerSlam 1990.
Okay.
In the main event of SummerSlam 90, the WWF Championship was on the line in a steel cage match.
Okay.
The Ultimate Warrior defended against who?
1990. Is it like a modern, like not a modern, but like a
you know
a
his
big name?
Yes.
A big name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you know his name.
1990.
I will give you a hint.
6 years before I was born. Wow.
I know. I will give you a hint.
Okay.
It was seemingly the only opponent that the Ultimate Warrior ever had. You'll get it whenever I tell you who it is.
No, that's not right. I have no idea.
It is the one, the only, ravishing
Really?
Rick Rude.
Huh.
And why I say he was the only opponent, they fought for the Intercontinental title for 2 years before this. Rude was out of the WWF when Warrior beat Hogan at WrestleMania 6 for the title. But guess what? Who did they bring in that summer to work with the Warrior for the World Championship?
Oh, my gosh. Did he ever beat him?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
He did for the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
But never for the World.
Yeah.
Ravishing Rick Rude. All right, one more, and then we'll move on.
Okay. This one's kind of a trick question, but not at the same time.
I'm here for it.
2005.
Yep.
Okay. Probably one of the most infamous ladder matches of all time that people are still clamoring for today.
Yep.
Saw Eddie Guerrero face Rey Mysterio for the custody
of Dominic Mysterio. Yes.
However, there's a very infamous moment in this match where Eddie is seemingly about to win, should have won easily, and somebody was very late to their spot, and he was less than happy about it. Who was it?
It was his wife, Vicky Guerrero.
He was yelling for her, man. Where's Vicky?
Oh,
he was so hot. He was so mad about it.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us, especially if you're listening to us on Sports Wire Radio, our exclusive partner. We can't thank Tom and the crew enough for everything they do for us, playing our shows, plugging our stuff. We appreciate those guys so much. SportsWireRadio.org. If you're not already listening, that is your one-stop shop for everything you need sports. Go check them out. Andy, they even broadcast live wrestling on the radio.
That is really
live play-by-play on the radio.
That is amazing.
So
that is really cool.
So if you want more wrestling content, they've got it all there, including live wrestling. So, Sports Wire Radio, Sports with a Z. That's where you can listen live. Follow Tom for the schedule on Twitter. He is at Thomas Bryce 2017. Just make sure you're hanging out there. Throw them some support. They would appreciate it, and we would as well. All right, Andy, Monday Night Raw has concluded as we were recording this podcast, and we saw some interesting developments from the Wyatt Six. First of all, lots of people wanted something more than videotapes. We've been getting videotapes. You've been saying, just put a VHS player out there. Let's get it ready. We know it's coming. And seemingly some people in the internet wrestling community have been getting annoyed by that. Mm-hmm. We got another video, was delivered on the Pat McAfee show today, which I'm still interested to see how all of that is going to turn out.
Yeah.
Because they're not giving us anything.
No, I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to be like leading to anything either.
Well, but why?
I just think it's a mainstream way to get them out there.
But why would they keep telling Pat you lied? Just because he's trying to say that nothing's happening.
Well, not even that. But like the first time it happened, he tried to say it was like trying to promote the military guy that was with him, his book or whatever. And so I think that's when it kind of started. Was like it was us. You know it was us, but you lied. Like I think it was something like that.
Gotcha,
maybe
okay.
I don't know, but
so far simpler than what I'm thinking about.
Possibly.
I gotcha.
Or I missed something with it too.
So we get a videotape on Pat McAfee show today, and they play it on Monday Night Raw. Let's start there. And it was Eric Rowan. And listen, you and I sat right here in these very chairs 3 weeks ago and watched the first video with our jaws on the floor.
Yeah.
First of all, that we saw Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Then they started asking about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And ruining his legacy.
Yeah.
And we're like, they can't ask these questions.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I got personal really quickly.
3 weeks later, we watched the Eric Rowan video where he talks about Brody. Mm-hmm. And he talks about Bray and the way he talks about losing a family member and not wanting to be here anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there are times in some of these videos, not talking about the Wyatt Six, but just like videos that WWE do where they're trying to tell a story where you can tell that the emotion and like the feelings and stuff aren't necessarily there. You honestly, in this video, like my heart already was broken for Eric Rowan because, outside of Bo, Rowan's taken this just as hard because of his relationship with Bray, but also because of what happened with Brody and everything like that.
Yep.
And so, I just watching that and watching the pure there's a moment where he breaks down and I'm like 90% sure that was
real
emotion because how could it not be real emotion?
Yep.
And just all the things that he said broke my heart. But the final line is what got me. When we'll take our broken hearts and make beautiful art.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really deep on a lot of levels. Because, one, I don't know if you've watched the Bray Wyatt documentary yet.
I still haven't.
One of the things that he did when he was released was he started painting. And making art and stuff and like reflecting his emotions and stuff through the art.
Interesting. Okay.
So this was kind of like to me, it seemed like a callback to that. And I think Rowan does art stuff too. So I think it's just a callback to all of that of, we're hurting, but we're going to make beautiful art and their beautiful art is going to be wrecking people.
Yep.
Which I love. I absolutely love it.
What they deem as beautiful, we may seem as destruction. And we saw that afterwards because Chad Gable said he was going to call out Bo Dallas.
Yep.
Now, first of all, I asked you this question offline. I'm going to ask you again. Are you surprised they're calling him Bo Dallas?
Not really. Just because that's the name he's been known by. And it's been known for a long, for years before they even did anything that Bo was Bray's brother. So I think just sticking that together, like keeping that is fine because it's just not. It's what people know him as the most, and so I don't think they're going to change it. They may change it down the line, but I don't think they're changing it yet.
I thought that by the way they introduced him in that documentary, which I haven't watched yet, but I do know they refer to him as Taylor on the documentary. And social media's referred to him as Taylor, friends and family, but not WWE social media. And all that kind of stuff. And the way and how personal this got, how quickly it got so personal, I thought they would just go with Taylor. I'm not mad that they're not.
No.
I just think it would have made sense if you're going to do it. Just do it now.
And I like the idea. I mean, I like the idea of them all changing their names to Wyatt, like their last name to Wyatt.
Sure.
So like, Taylor Wyatt you could do, and Eric Wyatt and Nikki Wyatt or whatever, because we don't know anything about. We do, but we don't at the same time. Why Joe Gacy's in the group,
right?
Why Dexter Lumis is in the group,
right?
Why Nikki's in the group. Like we can pick pieces together and put them in, but the two obvious ones were Bo and Eric
and Rowan.
And so now I think we need to hear from those three at some point pretty soon as to like their backstory.
When Sam Roberts was talking about this today, and I'm not taking the point from him, he made the same point we did last week in the fact that Nikki was the only one that was shown still in her mask. We did not see her face. We haven't seen her face on TV, in person or in a video. Do you think this would be an extreme slap in the face to Nikki Cross? Do you think the reason they're not doing that is they're going to reveal that character as Alexa Bliss, not Nikki Cross?
No, because I mean, there's a chance, but I don't think they would do that because that would be it would suck really bad for Nikki. I do think there are going to be 6 members. And I do think Alexa's going to be the 6th member. And I think the videos and stuff, I don't know how much you got into the QR codes and stuff. And I think they kind of played it in some of the videos. I depend
on you for that.
But there was the lady, like there's a woman in the wedding dress.
Okay.
That was kind of dressed up. I think she could be part of that, like playing into that.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's a chance that she could kind of take that spot. But again, that would just be
weird,
horrible for Nikki Cross.
I just wonder, why? Why have they not shown her face? Why is she the one that they haven't shown her face? There's a reason. I don't know what it is. Regardless, we saw them all in person tonight for the first time since the debut 4 weeks ago. We saw them all in person. Chad Gable, again, called out Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas showed up. And then the Creed brothers finally uniting with Bo Dallas. We did not see Ivy Nile, but we did see the Creed brothers finally uniting with Chad Gable, not Bo Dallas. Sorry about that. Attacking Bo Dallas and Bo laughing.
The whole time.
And then, before the lights hit, you heard Bo say, "There you are."
Like he has been in the videos.
And what?
It was so cool.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, man.
It was great. And then the lights go out, and then just the presentation of this group is so spectacular. It's so good because it's very like horror film-esque of you never really get to see the monster or the killer or whatever the case is during the movie. Like, you get to see them towards the end, but they're always, like, the strobe lights are going and everything else. Sure. You get, like, flashes of what they look like and things, but you don't get, like, an in-depth look. The only person we've got an in-depth look of in their character was Uncle Howdy a couple of times. And so I love that they're showing us these characters, but not giving us too much at the same time, because I think it's working really, really well what they're doing, because they're giving us stuff every week. And I know the videos. I know the videos are boring or starting to become repetitive. I personally love them. I think they're some of the best
great.
stuff.
They're a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I just want.
We need more stuff to start happening. At the same time.
We need them to connect to what is happening on screen
with Chad Gable. Yeah,
so that we're not splitting. Okay, there's this Wyatt Six thing, and then there's Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean?
I think this is a great follow up to last week. Chad being in the office.
Yes.
So now he's actually walking out to the ring to where next week, does he cut a promo from the ring? Does Bo Dallas cut a promo from the ring by himself? Does, what does that look like? What takes place? So I think there's a lot of stuff that's starting to connect together and starting to make a lot of sense.
You mentioned before we started recording, what if they being Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy, show up on screen live in person at the same time?
I don't know how you do that, but
I mean,
that'd be awesome.
They could figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, that was the best part about the pandemic was you got stuff like that because you could edit it even though it didn't always look great.
The thing to remember about this as we're getting more and more, and I feel like that next week we need to see, again, more in-person stuff.
Yes.
Maybe not even the whole group, but we need more than just Nikki delivering a tape.
Yeah.
The thing to remember, and I keep going back to this, we still haven't physically seen them assault Chad Gable.
No.
We've seen what we thought was an attack.
Yeah.
But they have not touched him.
Yep.
Outside of that. He's touched them now.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't touched him.
No, and I think that's by design. Like I think that's a really sort of important detail that's going on because the first time they're probably going to touch him might be like the show before SummerSlam or something like that. Because I personally believe we are heading to Chad Gable versus either Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy, one of the two. And that could be where you see
Alexa.
Well, no, that's where you could see Chad Gable beating up Bo Dallas, and then like something happens. Uncle Howdy's in the ring now and goes after Chad or something. I don't know. But I think that's really important of these characters, and I love that they're doing this where the characters are the ones that inflicted the pain on Chad Gable, allegedly, because we haven't seen anything like that. But Bo Dallas is the one being abused now. Like, it's not Uncle Howdy being abused. It's not anybody. It's Bo Dallas himself. And he understands that, and he wants that because it's working. Like, his message and everything he's telling is working. So I love that it's not this cut and dry, scary story. But it's like there's so many layers in so many directions that they could go in. Yeah,
it really is. It's the canvas is completely wide open.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. But at the same time, as we've said before, that's also a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you could very easily draw something that you can't draw over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Terrible analogy, but
no, it makes sense. It makes sense. And they have stayed true to to what they've said. They have been very realistic and not like,
pretended like the past didn't happen.
Right. Or like the lights go out and like they just appear in the ring, whatever the case is. Like, I know Nikki Cross hides under the ring and everything, but wrestlers hide under the ring all the time. Sure. So that's one thing I'm like, that's realistic to me because people do that apparently.
Yep.
But like, we're not getting like the Undertaker shooting lightning things. Or
hey, don't diss the Undertaker. That was cool.
Probably at the time it was, but going back and watching it, boy, that looked rough.
Listen, I love watching some of that stuff.
Now, I will say the coolest thing Taker, like the coolest thing creepy Undertaker did to me was when he had, was it Kevin Nash?
In the coffin?
In the coffin, look at that was awesome. Like, that's really creepy.
No, coming out of the flaming coffin.
That was also really cool. With Randy Orton. That was awesome.
My gosh.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's so cool. Okay, we're really getting off on a tangent. You know what that means? We're talking old school stuff. We're talking about the Undertaker. We need to get back to some trivia. So let's get back to some trivia. One more round of trivia, and then we'll get ready to close up shop. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. All right, Andy, let me hit you with this one.
Go for it.
1991. I'll give you another year.
Okay.
Best remembered for the night that the Ultimate Warrior held up Vince McMahon for money ahead of his main event tag team match with Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
But what was supposed to be the big attraction that night was the debut of the superstar that WWE felt like would be the next big thing in the company. He was the special guest referee that night. Who was this larger-than-life superstar? Was it Kevin Nash? Was it Sid? Was it Giant Gonzalez? or was it Mabel?
What year?
1991.
I'm going to guess Sid.
You would be correct. Thought I would stumble you with Kevin Nash there.
No.
Man. All right. Sid, the next big thing in the WWE. Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of the next big thing, okay. SummerSlam has seen not one, but two of the youngest competitors become world champions.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll even give you the names. It's Brock Lesnar
and Randy
Orton. Yep. What age was Randy when he won the title?
24.
That's correct.
Let's go.
You know what year?
2004.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was the year Benoit won the title at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And then he kept it all the way to SummerSlam.
Yep.
And then Orton wins it. And then the next night, they put him on shoulders and kick him out of Evolution. And then the next month, Triple H wins the title back. Imagine
Shocker.
that. The Reign of Terror. Speaking of Triple H, the second ever Elimination Chamber match took place at SummerSlam 2003.
Yeah.
And it was the only time the Chamber match was on a SummerSlam event. Triple H was the champion heading into this match. Can you name the other 5 competitors in the Chamber?
Well, I know one, I'm pretty sure, was Goldberg.
That is correct, yes. There's 2.
Because Triple H beat him.
Yep. Yep.
2003?
Yep.
I mean, Sean's always a choice.
That is correct. There's 3.
And there's 5 total?
5, yes.
I mean, 6 total,
6
but
total.
5 that I'm looking for. So I'm missing 3 more.
You're missing 3.
2003. I mean, are they all like top stars?
Yep.
In 2003? Okay.
Yeah, everybody. Top guys.
Jericho?
There's 1.
Okay.
He's always a safe bet for a Chamber.
Yep.
2 more to go.
2003. Wouldn't have been Rock. Has Rock ever competed in Elimination Chamber?
He's not.
Wow. Crazy. That's a good way to find out about The Rock. 2003. That's what stumped me is 2003. Kurt Angle?
That is incorrect.
I'll just take another guess. Benoit?
That is also incorrect.
I'm proud I got 3, though. That's I'll take it.
The ones you're missing are Kevin Nash and Randy Orton.
Wow. Wow. I did not realize he was in that one.
He was in that one.
That's crazy.
That is correct. Randy Orton. All right. What you got?
All right, who has won the most world titles at SummerSlam? Meaning they've won the title at SummerSlam.
The most.
Yep.
It's not Hogan.
And I'll give you a hint. They've won 3.
No. No. I'm between 2. I'm going to go Randy Orton.
That is correct. It is Randy.
Oh, let's
He
go.
won it in 2004, 2011, and then he cashed in 2013 and won there as well.
My other guess was Cena. Maybe he's defended.
He's probably defended the most, but I don't know how many he's actually won. I don't know how many he's ever actually won at SummerSlam. He's normally the champion going into SummerSlam.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, here's my last question, then Andy's got one more. One of the more controversial matches in SummerSlam history. 2010. Team WWE took on the future of the company, Team Nexus, in a 7-on-7 match.
Yep.
Can you name all 14?
Oh, I got this. So we'll start with Team WWE. This is my era, buddy. I hated this thing. So we got Cena.
Yep.
We've got Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
We've got John Morrison.
That's correct.
R-Truth.
Yep.
Bret Hart.
Yep.
Edge.
Yep.
Jericho.
Got all those, by the way.
We got Wade Barrett. We've got Skip Sheffield, a.k.a. Ryback. Justin Gabriel.
Okay.
Heath Slater.
4.
Darren Young.
5.
What was his name?
I'm gonna be so impressed if you get this right.
What was his name? Starts with the T. Not Tyrus. That was a different dude. I'll come back to him.
Okay.
I'm missing 2 more from Nexus.
You're missing the one you just thought of.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of, and one more.
Barrett, Sheffield, Slater, Gabriel, Darren Young. Oh, this is gonna kill me. What is his name? Like Taurus or something like that?
Michael Tarver.
Yeah,
I'll
Tarver.
give you that
Tarver.
Tarver.
Oh, and lawyer dude. David Otunga.
You nailed all 14 of them.
Yeah.
And of course, this graphic is incorrect because Brian wasn't on there because he was a replacement
For The Miz.
for The Miz. I thought it was Great Khali. Was it Khali at one point?
He was supposed to, but they beat him up, took him out.
Right.
But The Miz was like the last guy, and then Daniel Bryan came out and like took his spot, and he was all mad about it, and then that led to their U.S. title match.
Gotcha.
Later on down the line.
So you educate
I remember
me.
that a lot. Listen. That was at the height of Super Cena. He took a DDT on the concrete. Wade Barrett's finisher right after and kicked out.
Super Cena.
Hated him. Anyways, let's move on before I lose my mind.
Last one. I knew that'd get you fired up.
It did. 2011.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. We had a certain voice of the voiceless as the champion.
Okay.
Left the show as the champion.
Yes.
Or did he? Because he was attacked by who, which allowed Alberto Del Rio to cash in and win the title. So who attacked Punk?
You can see I'm sitting here contemplating because I don't remember. Was it Ryback?
It was not Ryback. I'll let you guess one more time because you're going to be upset when you hear the name.
Was it Jericho?
Nope.
Okay. That was on Jericho's hiatus anyway.
Yeah. Kevin Nash.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because apparently Triple H paid him or not. They never said anything about it.
Kevin Nash.
And it has one of the funniest bits with Punk when he said he read a text from his sister. It was like, WTF, thought he was dead, LOL. And then he said, "Woohoo! The click is back," which is exactly the same noise the audience makes when Kevin Nash pops up on their TV screen. That was like the height of Punk stuff that I just loved.
Gosh, that's so funny.
Yep,
All
Kevin
right.
Nash.
Hope you guys digging that trivia. Again, we got a whole channel on our whole playlist on our YouTube channel devoted to all of our trivia stuff. Tons of good stuff. We love playing trivia. It's a lot of fun. We like stumping each other. It's better when we get it right, but it's also fun when we get it wrong. But appreciate you guys doing that. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribed to the channel. We would appreciate it so very much. Let's talk about one of the biggest storylines in WWE as we get ready to get out of here. Well, 2 really. Well, no, 1. Rhea Ripley returns last week. Dominic Mysterio he's in the doghouse, brother.
Yep.
And Liv Morgan is just, listen. Did you notice? So last week when we recorded the podcast, we were already recording when Monday Night Raw happened.
Yep.
And we saw Rhea come back. And we literally penciled it into the rundown of the end of the show.
Right.
And we briefly mentioned it. After Rhea came back, the WWE released 3 things on social media. I don't know if you saw this or not. An extended version of Dom trying to plead with her at the end of the show, and she walks out, right? The second one was of Damian Priest watching in Gorilla.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Laughing.
Yeah.
And says there are consequences. The third one was Liv Morgan at the curtain, and she turns as she's watching, turns around, and she has that devious smile on her face. Now, this week, aside from the SummerSlam match being official, because we kind of knew that was going to happen.
Right.
We've got Dom trying to plead with Rhea. Buys her roses, trying to plead his case. It's not what you thought it was. Finally, by the end of the night, Rhea says, I'm not anyone's, you're mine. So that begs the question, and it's a question I've been wrestling with all week, and I've literally stopped myself from texting it to you all week long because I wanted to wait until now to bring it up. And I can't believe I'm actually going to ask you this question.
Oh, no, I'm scared
because I never thought this thought would even enter my mind. Are we trying to get babyface sympathy for Dominic Mysterio now?
I think so.
Like, what are we doing?
I think so. I really do. Like, they are beating the poor guy down, which is good because, let's be real honest, the Boo and Dom stuff at the beginning was awesome. The poor kid can't cut a promo now because he's just getting booed out of the building because that's just a cool thing to do. I really think we are building to somewhat of sympathy for Dom because I honestly believe he has no idea what's going on in this situation.
Right.
Like, I think this makes me more suspicious of Priest. Of, like, Priest called in, and, like, does Priest really, like, Priest wants to see Dominic fail. So, like, what's the story behind that? Obviously, like, there was nothing from Finn and JD this week, which is curious because Rhea's back, so they're, like, trying to stay out of it as much as they can.
Sure.
So there's a lot of
But Finn's the one that took the hotel key.
Right. So like there's a lot of things up in the air still. And
then Carlito, like is he involved in this in any way?
I just think he's there for the comedy, which is amazing. I love Carlito. I never would have thought I think Carlito's fun. I've always thought Carlito was fun. He's very entertaining in the Judgment Day.
Time out real quick while we're talking about this. Would it have been better to replace Carlito with R-Truth in this scenario?
No.
Oh,
because
surprised to hear you say that.
Truth is already funny.
Right.
Like this brings out a different side of Carlito.
Okay, I get that.
And so like
but would it be funnier if it was Truth?
I don't know, because it's just he literally says two things and it's hilarious when he turns the corner and goes, that's cool. Like it's just like it is cool. Like that is cool.
And then last week when they're doing the stretching, he says, that's cool.
Yeah. And then like tonight when Dom or when Rhea was mad at him and threw flowers at him, whatever, he came up and put his arm around Dom and went, I think she's mad. like just stuff like that is just so funny. I cannot believe how entertaining this story is.
I know.
And I honestly think Liv is out not just to take Dom. I don't even think she wants Dom.
Nope.
I think she wants Judgment Day. And she wants to embarrass Rhea and keep that title. So I don't know, as of right now, what to expect at SummerSlam.
I was going to say, what happens with Dom here? Because, like, a lot of people, again, I was scrolling through Twitter before we started recording, and a lot of people are saying it's going to be great when Dom, wins Rhea back, and then he pulls the rug out from under her, and he goes with Liv.
I can see that.
But at this point, like, yeah, that seems like the logical payoff to the story, but does that happen? Because like you just said, Liv doesn't want Dom.
Right.
She's pretty, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I think the way they could make that happen is they make, like, Rhea pushes Dom towards Liv by, like, cutting him off and being mean to him and all this stuff, and that's when the switch happens, when she finally forgives him, but he's already had enough, and he does, like, I could see that taking place. That could happen. But yeah, I have no idea where the story is heading. And I love it because, like, you don't know what the end game really is. Like, does Rhea win the title back at some point? Or do we stretch this out to Mania where we do Rhea Liv at Mania?
I don't think we can go that far.
I don't think we can go that far either. But, I mean, are you going to have Rhea just beat Liv at SummerSlam or beat Liv in Berlin?
I think she probably beats Liv in Berlin at a rematch. I don't think she beats her at SummerSlam. But then again, like if she doesn't beat her at SummerSlam, let's just say that at SummerSlam, Dom officially turns. Mm-hmm. He and Liv are a thing. and she beats Rhea. Berlin shows in 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Are you really going to turn around and have Rhea win after that?
Right.
Because then you lose the story.
Unless you have like Damien help her or something.
Mixed tag match.
Possibly, yeah.
Especially if Damien loses the belt.
Yeah.
Mixed tag match in Berlin. Yeah. That could be fun.
That would be fun.
I don't know. I mean, especially because we're seemingly headed towards babyface Damian Priest. If, WWE sharing that video from, was it Mexico event where he and Jey Uso, whatever.
Or even tonight.
Yeah, even tonight.
With Jey Uso and the promo with Gunther, he got a babyface reaction. So it looks like they're building him that way.
Seems like we're headed that way. Anyway, it's a fun story. It went from uncomfortable to fun.
Oh, it's still uncomfortable. It's just fun now, sort of. Rhea's back, so it's fine.
Rhea is definitely the buffer that helps the whole thing. All right, on our way out, we're about to wrap this up, but Andy doesn't know I'm going to bring this up, but I'm going to.
I'm scared.
We don't talk a whole lot about AEW.
I figured something AEW was coming down the line.
Doesn't talk a whole lot about AEW on the show, but I'm bringing it up. Number one, rumored today, a big show coming to Dallas area next year. Could be a stadium show. All in Dallas, maybe?
Possibly.
And moving it from Wembley? I don't know. Maybe. Could be interesting.
Yeah.
That's a big building in Dallas.
We've been in it. That's a very big building.
Can they put that many people in a U.S. building? Because didn't they, and this is not me knocking them, this is me asking, didn't they have trouble filling up Arthur Ashe the last time they did it? Like the first time was really good, but since then, hasn't there been issues with them doing that? I don't remember.
I don't think so, because I think they've always put like massive matches on that show. I think prices kind of hurt them more than what they were building or booking. But honestly, I don't know if they were having trouble with it or not.
I don't remember. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see if they move that show, or I can't imagine Double or Nothing gets moved off of Las Vegas. But the reason I bring up those two shows is the report from Fightful said it's a big AEW show. So not just big as in terms of the amount of people in a stadium, a big show. Yeah. So you have to think it's got to be Double or Nothing.
Could be All Out.
Could be All Out. But move that from Chicago. That's where you started.
Yeah.
Or maybe you move All In back to Chicago.
It could be Revolution.
I just feel like
I just don't feel like Revolution's that big of a show for that.
Exactly.
It's got to be All In, honestly.
Yeah, it has to be. I would think so. Tony Khan made some asinine comments about Edge's career this week, and I'm not going to dive into them. I'm just not. I'm not.
Yep.
Because I'll give him credit when he said arguably when he said this. Did you hear this?
I haven't heard any of this.
Apparently, Edge is on the best run of his career in AEW, according to Tony Khan.
I don't have a problem with
just like
saying
Sting was.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him saying that. Listen, if I was a promoter of a company, I would say that too.
Stupid. I'll
to promote it. What else is he going to say? That it's not his best run ever, or that he's not doing a good job?
If they could draw 1 million viewers, and they could draw a bigger house than what they can draw, come talk to me then.
Well, what's he supposed to say on TV that that's not the case?
I'm just saying, at least with Edge, he said arguably. Yeah. And he said Edge has had some tremendous matches and runs throughout his career. He did not use that caveat with Sting. He just flat out said this is the best Sting ever, which is just...
It was a really good Sting. I enjoyed Sting's run at AEW.
It was good, but it was not the best. Telling me that the height of Crow Sting is not as good as...
Starcade 97?
Do not get me started. Do not get me started. Here's the AEW comment I was going to make before we get out of here. I cannot believe they are blowing 2 dream matches on Dynamite this week.
Oh, MJF
Will
Ospreay
versus MJF and Swerve versus Okada on free TV this week. I can't believe they're doing that.
I mean, it's one, they're trying to get ratings, so I get that aspect of it. But two, like we literally sat here and kind of said the same thing when Gunther was facing Sheamus on TV. Yeah,
but the point of this, I think, is MJ. Swerve and Okada. Okay, let's table that.
Yeah.
MJF and Ospreay.
Yeah.
This is the future of your company right here. These two dudes. Both of them, 26 years old at most?
I think so.
And you're putting that on free television? Vince McMahon and the WWE would never have put Austin Rock on free TV. Never.
No, but
Sean Brett.
I don't think these guys are that level yet. I think MJF is, but I don't think Ospreay is.
You don't think so?
I mean, not to a Hogan or not to a Rock Austin
And
level.
I'm not saying that they are currently.
Right.
What I'm saying is in the AEW sphere.
Right.
And to what they're trying to build.
Yeah. But, I mean, he put on Cena Randy on TV all the time. He put on Undertaker and Edge a couple times on TV. Like, there are big matches that have been put on. I think for the first time, I think it's crazy that they're doing it on free TV. I'm not going to complain because I'm not going to pay $50 to watch this. I get to watch it for free.
Well,
so.
you're getting a rematch at All In. Anyway,
So I think it's fine, but I don't even know if the match is even going to happen.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is it might not actually happen
because MJF just turned heel again, which I'm glad about because he's great as a babyface. He's amazing as a heel. So I think going after Ospreay, maybe attacking him, whatever the case is.
Right.
But yeah, I just
finally we get the aligning of MJF and Don Callis.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, I would say so. But I don't have a problem with them. I mean, they're trying to get ratings. The ratings are tough right now. Ratings are hard to get right now for them. And the best way the one thing that they've always prided themselves on is they put on the best wrestling matches. Bell to bell, in the ring, they put on the best wrestling matches. And MJF versus Ospreay is right up that street.
WCW did this as well.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Towards the end.
I know.
I'm not saying AEW's come to an end. I'm just saying I just don't think it's a good idea. I just don't.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know. You got to make people pay for that. Because
which he probably will at some point. Like, he probably will. I don't think the match is actually going to happen.
Okay. Well, it might not. And you're right.
I think Swerve Okada is not that big of a deal because they're going to be in the same ring together.
Not War Games.
Blood and Guts.
Thank you.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, I'll get off my AEW soapbox. But it's good stuff. Good episode. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hope you had a blast. So much wrestling content that we didn't hit. AJ and Io Sky getting big wins in Japan. Tiffany Stratton teasing a cash in.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green with a neck brace.
Yep.
Bless her heart.
Great.
So much stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's so much wrestling content out there. We just cannot fit it all into an episode.
Joe Hendry showed up on NXT TV.
Joe Hendry got a victory.
Win, too. Got a win. Pin, everything. He got the win. Bryan Danielson and Swerve at All In.
Yes.
For the title. That'll be a good one.
It's Bryan winning the Owen Hart tournament, and then Mariah May winning the women's tournament.
Oh, that heel turn was fantastic.
Turning on Toni Storm.
Oh, it was so good.
Very graphic.
Yes.
Haven't seen it.
Yes.
Don't let Katie watch it.
Oh, she watched it live with me.
And her response was?
Her head was turned most of the time. When I say she watched it with me, she was in the room.
I gotcha. Appreciate you guys being with us. What a fun episode. Andy will be out next week, and I'm not going to tell you who is going to be my co-host because I haven't figured it out yet. I'm working on it. But regardless, we will have a show next week. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to talk all things wrestling, keep you up to date on current product. Again, follow us on social media. I am at Chris Belcher 24. Andy is at Andy_SQR.
Yeah.
And the show is at SQ_radio. We are available wherever you find your podcast and on our YouTube channel. We would appreciate it if you haven't subscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Helps the algorithm. I don't know. It just does it. Fantasy booking show every single Thursday. I think this Thursday is pay-per-view number 5 as we march towards the end of season 3. For Mr. Andy York, my name is Chris Belcher. This has been another edition of Squared Circle Radio. Head-to-head trivia for you. We will catch you guys down the road.